everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to do a flow called Brand New Lease on Life, and this flow is for entering the new year or anytime you're entering a new cycle. There is a playlist. The link to that playlist is in the description box if you like to practice with music. And before I start, I wanted to pull a card. I've got this deck by Gabriella Bernstein called The Universe Has Your Back, and it's really just affirmations to have faith and trust that like everything is working out okay. But I thought it'd be good to do for the new year to just pull a card and set our intention on that before we start in our practice. And it's just something that we'll focus on as we practice. And so the card that we pulled is My Energy Creates My Reality. What I focus on is what I will manifest, which is awesome for a yoga flow. So as we set our intention, where your mind goes, your body goes, where your mind goes, energy flows. So for the practice today, set your intention, set your drishti on, a focal point. Set your intention for your practice, and as you enter the new year, keep in mind that what you focus on is what you're going to bring into your life. So going back to positive affirmations, to that feeling of power in yourself, is a great way to begin the new year. Today you may need blocks or a strap, so if you need those things, please grab those, get some water. And we're just actually going to start with 3 deep breaths in through our nose and out through our mouth to just kind of breathe in new energy, blow out the old year. I know 2021 has been probably at best a roller coaster for people, and in some cases it's been worse. So we're just gonna let that shit go, all right? So in through your nose, out through your mouth. You can keep your eyes open or closed. One more. Breathe in. And sigh it out. And third breath in. Sigh it out. We're going to start with something nice and gentle. Looking to your right. Looking to your left. Breathing in as you come to center, exhaling as you twist or turn your head from one side to the other. Loosening up those neck muscles. I'm doing this partially for selfish reasons because I've slept really funny and my neck is stiff. And we're just gonna tuck our chin down and do a few neck rolls. Not to the back, just side to side. So as our ear comes to that shoulder, that's pretty much where we stop. Maybe a couple more to each side. Remembering your breath as we go through this practice. And come back to center. Raise your arms up. And bring it back down. So as we inhale, we come up. Exhale down. And one more. Inhale up. Exhale down. We're going to start in tabletop position. So our hands are beneath our wrists. Our knees are under our hips. Neck is pretty much in neutral to start. As we breathe in, we're going to arch our back, look up to the sky, and on our exhale, round our back, gaze comes to your belly button, and take a few rounds of this cat-cow pose, warming up your body, settling into your practice, letting anything not related to your yoga practice just drop to your mat.
There's nothing you can do about it right now anyway, except think or worry.
So if you find your mind drifting, just come back.
Take one more round with cat-cow.
And then we're gonna just take a few dynamic postures. So maybe twist your shoulders to one side and your hips to the other. You can take hip circles or, full body circles if that feels good to you. Just kind of listen to your body and do what feels right. One more round, and we're going to come back to center.
Inhale, reach your right arm to the sky, look up at that arm. And on your exhale, thread the needle, right arm goes under the left arm, cheek comes to the mat. If you want to get a stretch through that left side body, reach your left arm out in front of you. You can sink your hips back as low as feels good to you, but really just feel that stretch through your shoulder, melt into your mat. Remembering to breathe as you go. In through your nose and out through your nose now. Come back to center. Reposition your hands. And we're going to inhale our left arm up. So up it goes. And exhale, throw the needle. Cheek comes to the mat. Hips are up. Breathing into that shoulder. Settling in now to your Ujjayi breath. On your next exhale, we're going to come back to tabletop. Take one cleansing breath, blow that out, and we're going to press ourselves back into downward facing dog. So our ears come between our biceps. Maybe pedal out that dog. It's our first down dog. Bend your knees. Do whatever feels right to settle into this posture, rooting your hands, all of your knuckles into the mat. Focusing on your breathing. Inhale, raise your toes to the sky, come up on your tippy toes, and exhale, just let your heels fall over to the right side, feeling a stretch through that right hip, through the back line of your body, through the side of your body, releasing any tension. If you feel tension in the practice, just send a breath to that part of your body. Come back to center. Inhale. On your exhale, let your heels fall over to the left side, pressing into that hip. Again, feeling that stretch in your body. One more breath in. On your exhale, come back to center. Drop your heels. I want you to bend your knees, look forward, take a big step forward to your hands, and grab opposite arms with opposite elbows, or opposite elbows with opposite hands, however that works. And take a deep bend in your knee if you need it, to really melt your chest over your knees. Drop any tension in your neck, maybe nod your head yes, shake your head no. Sway back and forth if that feels good to you, releasing any tension. Again, letting anything that you've brought to your practice that's not serving you roll off your back on your mat and just leave it there. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your nose. On your next inhale, This is a great time to do a round of ohms if you'd like to do that. I'm not doing that today because some of you might be listening to music. Inhale. And on your next inhale, reach up, look up, and swan dive down. Forward fold. Inhale, press your hands into your shins. Your neck is long, so I tend to want to look up, so we're one line with our body. We press our hips back, so our tailbone is pulling to the back of the mat. The crown of our head is pulling to the front as if we are growing longer, which with each inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale, fold. We're going to step back for a high push-up. Now, at any point, I know a lot of times people really like to get back into things that are good for their body in the new year, so we can drop our knees at any point in time. None of these push-ups, none of these high push-ups or flows have to be full, so I'm going to show you both ways, but if you're in high push-up, everything is pulled in, your core is pulled in, you're pushing, hollowing out your elbows, neck is long, so gaze is just at the floor. And for everybody, whether on your knees or not, you're going to bend your elbows to 90 degrees. Inhale, upward facing dog. So if you were on your knees, we just bend our elbows and then drop to our belly and press up for an upward facing dog. Inhale. I want you to look over your shoulder, back to center, over your left shoulder. Inhale. We're going to turn our toes, press back to a downward facing dog. The other thing that's important to keep in mind, at any point, child's pose is available to you. Down dog is available to you. Don't quit, just take a rest. Kind of the same as in life. Don't quit. If you need to take a break, and then come back to it. Inhale. We're going to take a few rounds of sun A's here, so you can have some choices. We're going to inhale, look forward, bend your knees, jump, step, or hop to the front of your mat, whatever feels right to you. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, high mountain pose. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we're going to Vinyasa, so jump, step, or hop to a high push-up. Bend your elbows for Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. I'm going to do the next one, modify. Inhale. Exhale, jump, step or hop to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. We can bend our knees as much as we want in this forward fold. Inhale, rise up, high mountain pose. Exhale, fold. One breath, one movement. Oops, I forgot halfway lift. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we're going to step back for a high push-up. I'm coming to my knees for modification. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Taking this at your pace, we're going to do one more sun A just like that. One breath, one movement. We'll meet in downward facing dog. You go at your pace. I'll cue you, but if you don't like my cues, don't follow them. Inhale. Exhale, jump, step or hop to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. High mountain pose. Exhale, fold. upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. If you're still coming in through your flow, that's totally fine. Take your time. If you finished at my piece, we'll just have a couple of breaths here to fall out. So inhale, exhale, sigh it out. Great variations on that. Inhale, exhale, lion's breath. Stick your tongue out. Ha, ha, ha. You can do horse lips. Whatever you need to release tension from your body. Inhale, look forward, jump, step, or hop. This time sinking into chair pose. So for chair pose, our back is in one line. So we form a strong line from hips to shoulders. Our knees come back behind our toes, taking the tension off of that tendon. So if we're way forward, you're putting a lot of tension on the front of your knees. Shift your hips back. Now, you can be low, but you would be better off to have your hips back and very little bend in your knee than you would be to be bending way forward. So modify it how you want. If you're coming low, stick your butt back like you're looking for a chair, right? Gazes forward. You can cactus your arms. Bring them to your side. Stretch through those shoulders. Shine your chest. Open. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, jump, step, or hop. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg to the sky. Bend your knees, step it forward. Spin your back foot to a 45-degree angle. Warrior one. Hips are forward. We are in Tadasana. Hips or shoulders are over your hips. Elbows are over your shoulders. Wrists are over your elbows. Fingers are wide. In through your nose, out through your nose. See if you can bend that front knee to get it parallel to the ground. Inhale. Paying attention to this knee, it's not coming in. It's pressing out so that your knee is over your ankle. Shorten your stance, widen your stance, do whatever you need for alignment. Inhale, we're gonna exhale, cartwheel your hands to the floor. Step back for a high push-up. Exhale, low push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale your left foot to the sky, step it forward. Same posture on your other side. Our hips are not open, they're closed. Breathe in. Do what you need to do with your stance. We'll be here for 3 or 4 breaths. Maybe 5, depends on how long you breathe. Focusing on our alignment. Shoulders are not hunched, they're down our back. Inhale. Exhale. Cartwheel your hands, step back. Breathe in. Exhale, chaturanga. And press back for downward facing dog. Breathe in. Exhale, sigh it out. Take a few deep breaths if you're choosing. You should probably be building some heat by now. I know I am. So take some breaths here. Pause the video, take some water if you'd like. Inhale. Look forward. Exhale. Sink into chair pose. This time, bringing our hands to heart center. We're gonna exhale, twist.
So left elbow comes to right knee. Do a little check. Make sure that left knee hasn't crept forward. Pull it back in line. You'll do this by pulling back at the hip, sinking lower. If you'd like to shine your arms open, you can. This is also a time you can take side crow if that's in your practice. Inhale. With each inhale, we grow longer from our crown. And with each exhale, we twist deeper, wringing out those organs, wringing out that tension. Inhale, come back to center. Breathe in. Exhale, twist. Right elbow to left knee. Again, shine your arms open if you like. Making sure that right knee is in line with your left knee. Sinking lower. Growing with each inhale, twisting deeper with each exhale. Inhale, come back to center. Hands can come up for chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we're just gonna halfway lift. Exhale, flow. You meet in down dog. Inhale, your right leg to the sky, step it forward. Rise up for warrior one. Take one breath in. On your exhale, open up to warrior two. So for this one, our knee is still out, our hips are now open. The back foot is parallel with the back edge of your mat. Shoulders are down your back. Neck is long. Gaze is just over that front middle finger. Breathe in. And then we're just going to straighten that front leg. Shift your hips back. Triangle pose. You can have your hands on the mat, on your ankle, on a block. Breathing in. Just really feeling that twist. We're going to calm down. So push this knee forward. Drop your left hand, sorry. Right hand comes up, twisting triangle. Bend your right knee. And we're going to shift our whole weight for a side plank figure four. So the right foot is perpendicular to the mat. You're up on the knife edge of that left foot. Hand is up. You can feel free to drop your hip here. So raising up, lowering, feeling that stretch in that hip, really on both sides. And then we're just going to shift our hands. So drop your right hand, take your left foot to your right hand for side plank splits. Bending your knees if you'd like. Again, getting some dynamic movement in those hips. And then we're just going to come into a low lunge. So step your right foot forward, drop to your back knee. And just raise up to the sky, feeling that stretch in the front of your hip. Drop your hand. Look up to the right side. Drop both hands inside. And we're just going to step back, high to low push up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, your left foot to the sky, step it forward. Spin your back foot. Rise up for warrior one.
Inhale. On your exhale, open up to warrior two, making sure your knee stays over your ankle. Breathe in. Hips are open, back foot's parallel to the back edge of your mat. Straighten that front leg, press your hips back. Come into triangle pose. Gaze can come up to that hand, or it can be neutral. Inhale. Twist your triangle, so open up to the other side. And then we're just gonna shift our foot so that that left foot is perpendicular to your mat. And we're gonna sink down and rise up a few times in this side plank figure four. Plant that left hand, step the left foot to the right hand, open up for side plank splits. Shifting your weight, bending those knees. Then plant both hands. Step that left foot into a low lunge. Drop your back knee. Hands come up. Maybe play with your gaze. Look up to the sky. Plant both hands inside that foot. Step back. High to low push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in. Sigh it out. Inhale, look forward. Jump, step, or hop to the front of your mat. Arms come up. Chair pose. Inhale, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale your right foot to the sky, step it forward, spin your foot. Rise up, warrior one. Inhale, on your exhale, open up to warrior two. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, extended side angle. This elbow isn't collapsing, we're pressing into it, lengthening through our side. Inhale. Exhale, come back through. Now square your feet, toes come slightly in, heels come slightly out. Inhale. Exhale, hinge at your hips for a wide-legged forward fold. I'm going to reach my hands out and grab the opposite ankle. You can do whatever variation feels good to you. If you're following me, switch sides. Feeling that stretch all through your hips and your side body. Fold yourself back up, and we're going to Skandasana. Hands come to heart center. We're going to bend one knee, so for a deep, low side lunge. And there's variations you can take on this as well. You can drop your hands. You can raise your feet and your heels. Do whatever feels right to your body. We're going to go a few times to the front, a few times to the back. And then on our next time to the front, I want you to turn. We're going to come into a low lunge, but this time we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to plant our left hand Our right hand is going to come around and grab that left foot if you can. This is a great time to use a strap as well. But we're going to kick our hand into or kick our foot into our hand and pull on our foot at the same time, stretching through that. Now I want you to square your hips and pull that leg forward, feeling a deep stretch in the quad. Release your foot, and we're going to come back to our flow. High to low push up. Again, dropping to your knees anytime we need to. We meet in down dog. Inhale your left foot to the sky, step it forward. Rise up for warrior one. Breathe in. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reach it forward. Come into an extended side angle. Really opening up through that side. Pressing into it. Come back through your warrior two. And we'll do another wide-legged forward fold. This time I'm going to take an arm bind. So we roll our shoulders back and hinge at the hips. Again, another great time to use a strap. So if you can't get your hands together in a bind, no worries. Grab a strap, a towel, even a t-shirt, and use that. Just letting gravity pull your hands down. Inhale, rise back up. Hands come to heart center. Skandasana. Low and slow. Using your hands if you'd like, lifting your heels. Making this practice your practice. On our next one, we're going to turn. Both hands coming in. We're going to reach around and kick into that hand, really feeling that stretch. And turn to the front, feeling that deep in your quad. Ooh. And step back for high to low. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale your right foot to the sky. Step it forward, this time for a crescent lunge. Foot is planted firmly. We're up on those back toes. Arms come up. Shoulders are down our back. Really clenching that glute. Feeling strong through that back foot. We're going to kick ourselves into a standing twist. If you're familiar with this, push into your standing leg and go straight into your twist. Otherwise, we're just going to take a little bit of a transition. So, modifications to this, you can have your knee here and rooting into that bottom leg. Keep your knee bent. You can also grab your toe, and I'm going to do this twisting the other way for this. So kicking out, whoops, and opening to the side. Now, if you're pulling your leg across, don't do that. Just go back to the knee, and you can open the knee this way or this way. So we're going to do it this way. Whew. From here, I want you to take your foot to tree pose. For tree pose, we can either be at the floor, so like this. We can be on our calf, or we can be
on our inner thigh. Where we're not is on our knee. So we're not putting any tension in that knee. We're gonna press into our standing legs, sorry. We're gonna root into our standing leg. We're gonna press into that foot with our leg as much as we're pressing into our leg with our foot. Creating that tension that gives us stability. And we can grow our branches. If you want to challenge your balance, you can look up to the sky. Whatever feels good to you. But whatever you're doing, it's important here to set your drishti. So you have found a focal point, and that point doesn't move, and that's what you're looking at. If you fall out, you just come back in. We're gonna bring our hands back to heart center. We're gonna kick into airplane pose. So for you, I'm just gonna put my foot there. If you're in tree, we root in, we kick back to airplane pose. Whew. I gotta get my balance. So we're rooted in, our toes are pointed down, our arms are in cobra position. Knee is soft but not bent. Gaze is just ahead of you on the floor. Today, balance is not my strong suit, that's okay. Hands come back to heart center. We're gonna come into half moon. For half moon, this is a great time to use a block for your hand. Trying to get our body into a single plane. The leg is high and we're twisted open. You can look up if you have that balance today. Otherwise, gaze is at the floor. Inhale, on your exhale, drop back to Skandasana. Very nice. Low and slow, just a couple of rounds this time. On our next time to the front, I want you to turn your knees in. You're gonna step that back foot in too for a Yogi Squat. And for our Yogi Squat, you can have a block under your seat. So you could basically be kind of sitting on this block. We want our spine straight. We want our elbows pressing into those knees, hands at heart center. So here, our weight is in our heels. Really feeling that hip opening, growing longer into our crown. We're gonna come into crow pose from here. So we plant our hands, get a little bit closer to the center. Our knees come into our elbow, or our armpits. Gaze comes forward. You can start by just lifting one foot, then the other. If you're prepared, this is in your practice, we push our feet together and just let ourselves lean forward. Gaze is forward, drishti is set. We're gonna come from here, shoot back, chaturanga, or step back, either way. Inhale, exhale to downward facing dog. I'm gonna get myself repositioned. Breathe in, sigh it out. Take a couple of falling out breaths. Inhale, left foot to the sky. Step it forward for a crescent lunge. Back leg is strong. Glute is engaged. Core is pulled in. Inhale. Exhale. Come in to that standing twist. I guess I did it this way this time, so I should do it that way again. So we can even kick our leg out to the side if we want. And from here, come come into tree pose. Again, foot can be on the floor, on your calf, or on your thigh. Inhale. Grow your branches. Setting your drishti on a point that won't move. If you grew your branches, I want you to come back to heart center. We're going to root into that standing leg and bring yourself into airplane pose. Gaze is just ahead of you on the floor. Toes point towards the ground. Setting your gaze. Bring your hands to heart center and drop yourself down into half moon, either using the floor or a block. And the block can be set on whatever height works for you. Mine's on the lowest, but you could totally have it on the highest too. Breathe in. And drop down for Tadasana. Low and slow. On our next time, we're going to turn, bring our feet up here to meet for Yogi Squat. Pressing into those hips, really feeling that stretch, growing long. You can play around with crow pose again if you'd like. If you want to use a block in crow pose, that's totally fine. Breathe in, plant your hands. I'm going to do crow, but you can also just go right back into high push-up, and we'll meet in down dog. It's your practice. So, inhale, exhale, we tip forward. Hollowing out those armpits, pulling in that core, shoot back, high to low push up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in, sigh it out. Inhale, your right foot to the sky, step it forward, coming into a crescent lunge. Inhale, we're gonna exhale, kick that back leg up and over, arm comes under for eagle pose. Pulling everything in. Gaze is set. Whew. Pull it in. Come into staff pose. This time we're going to kick back for warrior 3. So your hands come out like you're holding a beach ball. We're going to come into half moon twist. So our hands come to the mat. Plant the left hand, open up. Remembering your breath. Plant your hands and just do a standing split. Mine doesn't look like a split, that's okay. Yours might not either. If you want to do handstand hops or switch kicks, you can. Okay, pressing into those armpits, pushing the floor away, trying to remember which leg we started on. And we're just going to drop back from here, right to a high push-up. Low push-up. Up dog. Down dog. This is our last kind of big part of the flow. So inhale that left foot up.
Step it into Crescent Lunge. Kick it up and over. Wrapping your arms for Eagle Pose. Setting your drishti. Unwind. Come into Staff Pose. Kick back for Warrior 3. And when you're ready, hands come to heart center. Whoops. Drop your hands and open for your half moon twist. You can do handstand hops if you like, or switch kicks. So for prep. Okay. Handstand if it's in your practice. We're gonna step back into down dog. Kick that right foot into the sky, bend your knee, and come in to half pigeon. Shin is parallel. You may want to have a block under that cheek. You can stay here on long arms, or you can come down. Ooh. Handstand hops got me out of breath. I may have been slightly inactive on my Christmas break. That's okay. We just come back to it. If you feel tension in that hip, send a breath to it. Try to find stillness here. So sometimes there's a tendency when things are uncomfortable to like shift around a lot to try to get rid of that discomfort. But try to find ease in the discomfort by breathing. In through your nose, sending it back to that hip, and out through your nose. We're going to come back to long arms if you were down. And we're just going to kick that foot back to down dog. Maybe shake out the tension. Lift your left foot and come into pigeon on the left. Again, that shin is parallel. We're up on the hip. We're not over to the side. That takes the stretch out. So we're up. And again, we can either stay on long arms or we can come down. Again, just sending breath to anything that's uncomfortable. If you've come down, come back up onto long arms. And we're actually just going to swing that foot around and come onto our sits bones, moving any flesh away from the booty. I'm going to use the strap today because my hamstrings are tight. We're just going to grip that around both feet, and, or you can grab your feet too. Sit up straight, shoulders come down, and then pull yourself forward. Keeping your back straight. That is what gives you that stretch down through the hamstrings and the back line of your legs. If you bend your back, you're getting kind of more into the low back, which may be what you want to do some days, but today I'm focusing on hamstrings, the backs of my calves, all the way down to my heels really. So breathe in. And then come back up. We're going to do a little bit of a twisting pose. So this foot comes over, elbow comes over, sitting up straight. Hand is resting gently behind you. Just use that knee kind of for traction. Sitting here for a few breaths. Coming back to center. Let's shift. So this time, pushing that left knee with our right elbow. I had something pop, so it's no wonder my back was hurting. I don't know if you could hear it or not, but it was like probably my SI joint, which gives me some trouble sometimes. But let's just stretch. Feels great. Kind of winding down our practice a little bit. We're going to come down to our backs. I say a little bit because we do have a little bit of ab work. I'm going to put a block under my head because I don't want my buddies in the way. Alright, so you can lay flat, doesn't matter. What we're going to do now is bring our feet straight up in the air. Now, if you feel this in your low back at all, don't do it. So you can bend your knees and just tap, okay? We should have our spine in neutral, which means there's like a tiny, tiny space there, but not a big space. Our core is pulled in. Hands can come down at your side. We're gonna lower our legs about 30 degrees, keeping that core in, remembering to breathe. Inhale. Exhale, lower them another 30 degrees, only taking them as low as you can without feeling your low back. Inhale, lower them just off the floor. Again, bring them back up if you feel low back. Inhale, up 30 degrees. Inhale, exhale, another 30 degrees. Inhale, exhale, up. Bend your knees to tabletop. Now, I'm gonna rest my head in my hands. You can stay here, or we can bicycle. Inhale, exhale. We just switch feet. That's 2. That's 3. 4. Don't forget to breathe. 5. We're going to 10. 6. 7. Twisting, feeling those obliques. 8. 1 more. And put your feet down. Stretch. Arms come over your head. Feels great. All right. We're going to come in to either bridge or wheel pose. So if you want to be in bridge, you're going to lie on your back and you're going to just press your glutes, tilt your hips, press up. For wheel pose, we're going to plant our hands beside our shoulders. Our hands, I don't know if I should do this today. My wrist has been bothering me. We'll see. So we're just going to come first to the top of our head and then press ourselves all the way up. Inhale. 5 breaths. That's 3 for me. Then tuck your chin and come down. Not too bad, but I'm only going to do wheel once because I'm going to undo all of this self-myofascial release I've been working on. So for the next one, I'm going to do bridge, our hands graze our heels. If you're coming into wheel, come up. If you're in bridge, press your hips up, not to the point where you're flaring, okay? So your ribs are pulled in, your core is engaged, Your glutes are flexed. Your knees should be straight. So imagine or put a block between your knees. If you'd like, roll your arms under to get a little more shoulder opening. Once you've done about 5 cycles of breath, go ahead and come down. We're going to go into happy baby. So our feet come out, and you can hold behind your knees. You can hold your ankles, or you can hold the outside edges of your feet. The key here is that your tailbone should be on the mat. If your tailbone is lifting up at all, then just go ahead and grab kind of closer down. So grab ankles, grab behind the knees, something like that. Inhale. I'm going to go ahead, grab my toes with my peacekeeping fingers, come into straddle pose. Again, we are flat on the mat with our tailbone, feeling the stretch here through those inner thighs. You can sway back and forth or rock back and forth, either in this posture or happy baby, to kind of roll out that low back, kind of a little massage for yourself. Come back, and we're just going to plant our knees and windshield those knees back and forth. Now, I don't know if I can do shoulder stand, but I'm going to try to. We're going to come in to an inversion of your choice. You can take headstand, you can take legs up a wall, waterfall pose just with the block under your sacrum and your feet up. I'm going to walk us through shoulder stand. So for shoulder stand, we're just going to push ourselves up, engaging our core. Our hands rest in our low back. Our hips, press forward. Up on our shoulders. Core is engaged. And we're just going to gently and slowly drop our feet behind us for plow pose. You can dig those toes into the mat. Feeling that stretch. Bend your knees, coming into deaf man's pose. And then roll yourself down, vertebrae by vertebrae, until you're back on the mat. Position yourself. We're going to do just a spinal twist for a few breaths. Knees drop to the right, gaze comes over the left shoulder. Come back to center. Knees come up. Drop over to the left. Gaze is over the right shoulder. Come back to center and set yourself up for your final resting pose. So feet just sort of flail out. Let get off my mat. Here. And our arms can come out. And just take one deep cleansing breath, let it all out. If you need to, tense your body up and release.
breath should be returning to normal at this point. Check in with your jaw, see if there's any tension there. If there is, release it. Let your eyes relax, no strain in your forehead. No tension in your body at all, you're completely relaxed. Enjoying the Shavasana that you worked for. I want you to slowly bring a little bit of movement into your fingers and toes. Maybe take a deep breath in. Roll yourself onto one side, keeping your eyes closed, using your arm as a pillow. Take a deep breath in. When you're ready, press yourself to a comfortable seated position, again, keeping your eyes closed. Hands come to heart center. One more deep breath. We want you to acknowledge yourself for coming to your mat today and for taking time out for you. I hope you all have the happiest new year and that you focus on what you want and that you manifest that this year. Thumbs come to third eye. The light in me sees and acknowledges the light in you. Namaste. Thank you everybody for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed that. And again, I hope you have a very happy new year, or whenever you're watching this, I hope that whatever is beginning for you will be everything you hope. Have a great day. I love you all.